everyone, I hope you're doing so well and welcome to my little Halloween vlog. Ooh, spooky. I'm working on a lot of paintings, so I can't wait to show you. I also had a Jackson's order this week, so I'm going to unbox some things, and as well as this, which is a Williamsburg starter set. Here are the paintings that I have been working on. The one of the girl on the left is finished. The one in the middle is nearly finished, of the cat. And then the least finished is this cat on a roof, although I've actually been painting this for the past 3 months, can you believe? Okay, so this is what the box looks like, and this is the starter set by Williamsburg. So, interesting story. I had one oil paint by Williamsburg about 5 years ago, and it was their gold paint, and I went off the brand because it was such a great paint. It was so pigmented and amazing, but I put it in a box full of all my other oil paints, and it like exploded or something. Because one day I opened the box and all the paints in the box were covered in oily gold paint, oil that had separated, and then like particles of gold paint everywhere. So I was so annoyed by this, but the actual paint itself, there was still some remaining, so I still used it, and actually it was one of my favourite paints. But the fact that it leaked just bugged me so much, I thought I'm not going to buy it again. However, then fast forward a few years later, I did buy another paint by Williamsburg, which was their Caput Mortem, which originally used to be made out of skeleton bones. Now, I actually think some oil paints are still made that way, by the way, so I'm not entirely sure if the Williamsburg one is. Yeah, not human bones, but like animal bones. And that paint was amazing, but it was so stiff. And so whenever I used to paint with it, I just found it quite difficult to spread, but it was incredibly pigmented, and I absolutely adored the tone of the paint because it just had the most amazing tone. So I thought, I'm going to buy some more Williamsburg paints in the future, but it is a lottery. Like, you don't really know what type of consistency you're going to get, because obviously they are handmade and you are going to get a different consistency per paint. So Williamsburg had a sale on Jackson's website, and I was looking at the paints and thinking, oh, I really want to buy one, but they're all still really expensive. And then I came across this, which is basically you pay £4. Oh, it says not for resale on the back. And you get this tiny little set here. Let me see if I can show you. There. And then you open like so, and you get 3 paints, and they are 5 millilitres, I think. Got a bit of fluff on them. 5 millilitres, and you've got a really amazing selection, which is, I just think it's an amazing deal. I feel like every single brand should do this. So this is cadmium lemon, no, yellow. If I can get this right, it will be a miracle. Cadmium yellow. And this is cadmium yellow medium. So when you get the cadmium yellow, you're looking at either a light one or a medium tone. So the medium tends to be more orangey. Why won't this show up? Worked it out. Here we go. So it's that exact colour. And actually I feel like it is a tiny bit more orangey than that. And it is a beautiful tone, this one. Then we have cadmium red, medium. I'm going to get there. Cadmium red medium, there we go. It's a really nice mid-toned red. And then we have cerulean blue genuine, which is not my favourite colour, in the sense that if I need to buy a blue, it will usually be a phthalo blue, ultramarine, of course, and Prussian blue I'm a mad fan of, because that navy kind of rich blue is great for skies and seas. And then also manganese blue hue, or manganese blue, I prefer it to cerulean, but cerulean is a really nice colour, and actually this one I found to be a lot more kind of transparency on that level, rather than the really opaque cerulean you can get, because they kind of come in different forms. So then I used those paints in my paintings. I'm just going to show you, because they're not quite dry yet, but this painting I've been working on for an eternity, and I think you can clearly see where the colours are. So the cadmium red is here on the roof, so you can see it's very, very pigmented, and then you have the cadmium yellow medium here in the kind of beautiful glow and on the background, and then the cerulean blue in the sky. So it's kind of like sonated there, and I found the colours to be incredibly easy to use, much more so than the Caput Mortem and the gold paint. And they are really, really finely milled, so really fine and very easy to use, and super impressed. I thought they were incredible colours, and they are obviously going to be expensive if you buy the really big tubes, but I was really super impressed by the cadmium yellow medium, and out of the three that was my favourite. And I also used the cadmium red medium mixed with white here. The white was not by Williamsburg, obviously, because it's not included in the set. So that was just a Michael Harding white, and you can see that it's come out really nicely, and it has a lovely tone. It's more like a pinky red when mixed with white, so perfect for me because I tend to favour the quinacridones over the cadmium red medium anyway, unless I'm painting plein air, in which case then I do really like the cadmium reds. So in conclusion, would I recommend these paints? Absolutely. I really feel like you can't go wrong with Williamsburg in general. Like even though I had that explosive disaster with the gold paint, I always really liked the pigmentation, and I do think that you can get really, really incredible paints and make incredible paintings with cheaper paint as well. Like, it's not like you have to buy the most expensive paint. I do find the biggest difference though between like really expensive paints and cheaper ones is really just the ease of use, and you do tend to get more pleasure out of using more expensive paints because they tend to flow much nicer. And now I've lost the ability to speak, not that I ever had it. But yeah, so that's just my thought on it. But of course, I always recommend, if you're starting out and you don't have any kind of paints at all, just to try out like little sets like this, and you can get, you know, really good a good experience of a brand, and then work out whether you like those particular paints, and also get a few colours from really expensive brands, like your main colours, like 4, and then the rest you can just get from cheaper brands, things like a mixed green if you want, or a mixed grey. You can mix your own greys, but sometimes for convenience it can be easier to use those, and then you can, you know, save some coin that way. Does this Put in the car. Yeah? Spooky. Basically, it's so damn cold. I'm actually thinking I might paint a seascape. Maybe. Because I haven't done that for ages. Just suddenly got the inspiration, even though I'm nowhere near the sea. Technically chop this tree down and use it as my Christmas tree. So anyway, I've decided I don't really like cold weather. My face is like frozen. Hello. Hi. Kitten. Hello, pretty kitten. I wanted to film the horses and go and see them, but because the weather is so bad, there are no horses. I'm not sure if my painting worked out today because basically I used this canvas board as opposed to using like a wood panel and then gessoing. So sometimes my paintings can be a bit hit and miss, so I don't know what you think. Ooh, so pretty. Got 5 minutes to get back and paint. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Take care everyone. See you next week.